Hi, seventh graders, and thank you for taking the time to watch this video if you were unable to attend the live lesson, or maybe you're watching just because you want a refresher. In lesson 4.4b, we're going to continue simplifying expressions using the distributive property, but our focus is going to be on negative numbers. Please join me by having your notes open to lesson 4.4b, a pencil in your hand, and a calculator nearby. If you need to pause the video to go ahead and get those materials, do that now. We will be looking at 8 examples together today. Being that we are distributing, and distributing calls for multiplication, and when we have negative numbers, we've got to remember how to multiply integers because integers are positive and negative numbers. So let's just refresh our brain here. When we're multiplying two numbers and the signs are the same or the signs agree, we're going to get a positive result. So anytime we see that the signs are the same, both positive or both negative, we say that they agree, and to agree with somebody, that's positive. Then when the signs disagree or are different, one's negative, one's positive, or one's positive and the other one's negative, when they're different or they disagree, we're going to get a negative result when we multiply them. So just refreshing our brains about signs agree, answer is positive. Signs disagree, answer is negative. All right, let's look at those 8 examples. Here's example number 1 where we're going to simplify using the distributive property. This is going to kind of review what we did just the other day in lesson 4.4a. Go ahead and copy the problem. I have 4 times the quantity 3x minus 4. So 4 groups of 3x minus 4. If you think of 6th grade, this was like the mama bird, and you had baby bird here and here, and you had to feed both of them, right? You're multiplying. We know when a number is sitting next to parentheses, there's the invisible multiply. So I'm going to take 4 times 3x, 4 groups of 3x. 4 times 3 is 12. I would have 12 x's. If you need to, you can write it out here. 4 times 3x, 4 times 3x. We know that this is multiply when they're stuck together. Do you see how the 4 and the 3 can be multiplied to give you 12? And then times x, I just bring it down. Now I've got to take that mama bird and have it feed this other baby bird, right? So now I have to take 4 and multiply it by, look at the sign in front, negative 4. Positive 4 times negative 4. The signs are different, they disagree. So I get a negative 4 times 4 is 16. 12x minus 16. Ask yourself if you can combine like terms. No, we can't, so we're going to circle it. We've rewritten it using the distributive property. It is simplified. There no longer are any parentheses, and that is our goal. Let's look at number 2. Go ahead and copy it down. Now we're going to be taking negative 9 and distributing it with both of the terms in the parentheses here. So here's our mama bird, here's our babies, right? Negative 9 times positive 2. Signs disagree, negative 18. Again, if you want to have a calculator handy to help you out with that, you can. Now I have to take negative 9 and multiply it by, look at the sign in front, this is a positive 8y. Negative 9 times positive 8y. The signs disagree, so my answer will be negative. I can drop that down. 9 times 8 is 72 times y. Again, if it's helpful, negative 9 times 8y, negative 9 times 8y. Remember, this is multiply because they're stuck together. Do you see how I can take the negative 9 times 8 and get negative 72? And then I multiply it by the y, I just drop down the y. Now, notice the order. The professional way is to have our y, because it has an exponent of 1, that comes first. So I've got negative 72, y, and then our constant minus 18 or negative 18, that would come after. So this is how I should write my answer, negative 72y minus 18, and that would be simplified. All right, we're doing pretty good here. Here's number 3. Now, as you're copying number 3, you're probably noticing that it looks a little bit different than you're used to, because you have a quantity here, see the 2 terms, and you're multiplying it by a number that's at the back. Do you see how here the number we were multiplying was in front? And same thing here, this number was in front. But now we have this negative 2 at the back. Remember, with the commutative property, because I'm multiplying this inside parentheses times this, because I'm multiplying, I can switch the order. That's the commutative property. So I can take negative 2 times the quantity 7y minus 8 and just rewrite it like this. In fact, now I really don't need parentheses around the negative 2. I could remove the parentheses. Remember, this is multiply, right? And I could just rewrite it like this, and now it looks much more friendly. Feel free to always do that. If you see that the number you're multiplying by is at the back, you can always move it to the front. Might make it an easier problem. Okay, now we're distributing or multiplying everything in the parentheses by negative 2. Let's begin. Negative 2 times 7y. This is a negative times a positive. The signs disagree. Negative. Negative 2 times 7 is negative 14 times y. Okay, think about if I took the negative away, 2 groups of 7y. That would be 14y. Because I'm multiplying by negative, I get a negative. All right, let's do the next one. Here I have negative 2, and I'm multiplying it by look in front. It's a negative 8. So I'm taking negative 2, and I'm multiplying it by negative 8. The signs agree. So I would get a positive. 2 times 8 is 16. Okay, I bring down that positive. Now, I know you don't normally put a positive sign in front of a 16, but we need an operation symbol here. So we're going to bring down a plus 16. And it looks like we have those in the right order. Done. You can't combine them. They both don't have a y. All right, number 4. I haven't used blue yet. We'll go with blue. Wow, this mama has 3 baby birds, 1, 2, and 3 in her nest. So we're going to have to be sure that we are multiplying negative 8 by all 3 of those terms inside parentheses. All right, let's begin. Negative 8 times j. When I'm multiplying negative 8 times j, I can simply just put them together without any operation symbol in between. I just stick them right together, and that's multiply. Negative 8j. All right, let's do the next one. Negative 8 times, look in front, this is a negative 2k. So negative 8 times negative 2k. Negative 8 times negative 2, that would make a positive, and 8 times 2 is 16 times k. Okay, notice how I could bring this outside. Negative 8 times negative 2 times k. Okay, that's really what I'm doing. You see how this is making a positive 16, bring down the k. All right, kind of tricky, might be confusing when I pull it out. All right, then I have negative 8, this last baby bird, times positive 1. So I've got my negative 8 times my positive 1. I'm doing this one last. Signs disagree, so I would get a negative 8. Now I look at the order. I believe J comes before K in the alphabet, so I think we're good there. We've got J, K, alphabetical order, and constant last. There's our terms. All simplified, all rewritten. Okay, number 5, we're moving fast. I think we're doing all right. Number 5, lots of negatives in there. Everything is negative. Look at the sign in front. Negative 3, negative 5, negative 2. Okay. All right, let's get started. We're going to multiply negative 3 by both terms inside the parentheses. Negative 3 times negative 5t. Negative 3 times negative 5, the signs agree. So positive 15 times t. I don't need to have an operation symbol in the front because I'm just assuming if there's nothing in the front that it's a positive. Now I have negative 3 times negative 2. So negative 3 times a negative 2, signs agree, positive 6. And I look at the order to be sure it's in the professional way, and it sure is. There I have 15t plus 6. All right, number 6, got a couple negatives in there. Go ahead and copy it down. All right, let's multiply. Negative 5 times 4x. Multiply your numbers. Negative 5 times 4, signs disagree. Negative 20 times x. Now when we multiply negative 5, we have to be sure we notice here that this sign in front tells us this is a negative 3. So I have negative 5 times negative 3, signs agree, positive 15. And then I look to see, can I combine like terms? Nope. Is it in the correct order? Yes, it is. It's done. All right, with number 7. I see a fraction, but we can do fraction. Let's go ahead and actually, when you rewrite this, Let's make this a positive. So let's just take off that negative sign. So when you rewrite it, just make that a positive 1/2, okay? I'm noticing that the next example is negative, so let's make this one a positive. So just go ahead and write down number 7, 1/2 times 12x minus 4. Okay, now this is multiply, and when we think of the word times or multiply, we can also think of the little itty bitty word of. And this helps us to do fractions, multiply fractions in our head. If I'm taking half times 12x, I can think half of 12x. What is half of 12x's? Well, that would be 6x's, right? Then I don't have to use my calculator to type in 1/2 times 12. Okay, let's try this next term. Now I want 1/2 times negative 4. Look at the sign in front, it's negative. What is half of negative 4? Well, that would be negative 2, wouldn't it? So I have half times negative, this is a positive half, times a negative. That makes a negative because the signs disagree, and half of 4 is 2. And I take a look at my answer here and I see, well, looks good to me. I think the x is in front and we can't combine like terms, so there we have it. Just adjusted that problem a little bit. All right, let's go over here to this one. Okay, now they're fractionally. This time it's a negative fraction. Okay, so now I'm going to multiply negative 1/3 times each of the terms inside the parentheses here. Remember, this is your mama bird, and you got 2 little baby birds in here. All right, I start with negative 1/3 times 9. Remember, I can think of the word of when I think of multiply. I know that the signs disagree, negative times positive, so I know I'm going to get a negative number. What is a third of 9, or a third times 9? That'd be 3. A third of 9 is 3. And because the signs disagree, it's negative. Now let's do negative 1/3 times positive 27a. Now right here I can see that the signs disagree. One's negative, one's positive. So when the signs disagree and I'm multiplying, I get a negative answer. What's 1/3 times 27a? Think of this as apples. What's a third of 27 apples? That would be 9 apples. Sometimes when you make that variable an object, it's easier to work with. Now I look at my answer and I see this is my constant. This is my variable, which has a little power of 1. I want this to go first. So this is a, look in front, it's a negative 9a. So negative 9a comes first. And then I have a negative 3. That's going to come after negative 3. And now I take a look, negative 9a minus 3, and I have it in the correct order. And there I go. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. Hopefully this video was helpful for distributing with the distributive, or simplifying with the distributive property when you see negative numbers. Have a great day.